Choosing an iPhone to buy this year is not an easy task. Apple has made dozens of iPhones over the years, but how not to get lost and make the right choice? In all that variety, there's only one iPhone that will be perfect for anyone, and which one will it be? Let's look at all the iPhones worth buying and find our one lucky guy. I think we should eliminate all outdated iPhones first, the SE and XR. These iPhones are great on their own, but fail miserably as soon as you actually compare them to newer, better models. I think we can agree on one thing: the iPhone SE is simply outdated. It does have new internals, but the shell, the display, and the cameras are ancient. And the bezels, yuck, disgusting, in my opinion. I know there are fans of SE watching this, but please don't buy this phone right now. There are many rumors regarding the upcoming SE 4th gen. It's rumored to look like the iPhone XR or even like 11. If you're looking for a cheaper iPhone, wait a little until the new iPhone SE gets released. The time has come for these dinosaurs with the home button to go. Now back to discussing phones. The XR is far better than the current SE, but still not good enough. This phone was released in 2018 and is now 4 years old. Buying it new is almost out of the question, so your only option could be the refurbished ones. Even if we count low price and Face ID as its benefits, we still get old internals, old camera hardware and algorithms, and poor battery life. For some people, it can be acceptable, but the majority of users will feel disadvantaged. XR and SE, that's a no-go, in my opinion. The iPhone 11 is a great phone for 2023, but only on one condition: you have a very limited budget. The iPhone 11 can be picked up new or renewed for around $300 depending on your location. For that price, it's a killer deal. For $300, you can get a powerful A13 chip, 4 gigs of RAM, 2-camera system on the back, Face ID, and full ecosystem integration. The cameras are very capable. Photos are crisp and sharp. There's only one caveat: the night mode works only on the main camera, which is unfortunate, but the pretty picture has a few dark spots in it: the screen, battery life, and the design. The screen has a very low resolution, a little over 720p. Yeah, the color accuracy and pixel density is passable, but it's just not great. The display technologies have evolved a lot since 2019, and this screen does feel old, especially when you start looking at its bezels. They're massive. Thick bezels paired with rounded design do make iPhone 11 feel dated. The battery life was great in 2019, but by modern standards, it's below average. This phone can last a whole day, but only if you're not doing anything power intensive like playing games or watching videos. But if you don't care about that and just need an iPhone for cheap, the iPhone 11 will do just fine. Buying an iPhone is cool, but what will you do with it next? How can you make the experience more productive? With some clever app selection, you can turn your iPhone into a worthy companion. Let's take Greenbooks, for example. This app allows you to control your spendings, categorize and manage them. Such an app can easily save you hundreds of dollars simply by keeping track of your expenses. The full functionality of this app is paid, but having a setup subscription on your Mac, you can activate this app in literally 2 clicks. And they are kindly sponsoring this video. In addition to this app, you get access to many more iOS apps, as well as 230 plus AnyTask apps at a reasonable price in one place. This is the primary advantage of the setup. One of my favorite apps that helps with work and study and is available on both iOS and macOS is To-Do. Our brains have a hard time getting started on big tasks, and this app helps break them down into smaller tasks and provides many extra features. It supports scheduling for multiple projects, subtasks, and reminders, letting you focus on individual days or zoom out to a wider view. But the largest selection of apps is available for macOS. Education, personal finance, productivity, writing, all this and much more is available on Setup. Another productivity pal is Task Heat. With Task Heat, you will never forget a single action. Smart notifications, clean design, and availability on Mac, that's what every productive person needs. Another app for boosting your productivity is Newton. Conventional email clients are crowded, filled with spam and nonsense. Newton takes the best from them and adds features that every business owner needs. Sending corporate emails and responding to them through Newton eliminated the pressure and discomfort you get from using well-known email clients. And you can access these and 230 plus AnyTask apps at a reasonable price in one place. If you are a student or teacher, you can get 50% off the regular Setup pricing. So basically, Setup is fill in the macOS and iOS gaps in certain contexts, and it provides good alternatives to default apps. I think it's an essential toolbox for macOS and iOS, and to learn more about setup, check out the link in the description below. Moving on to the 11 Pro and Pro Max. These iPhones are hard to recommend simply because you can't get them new, only renewed. 11 Pro is currently sold on Amazon for around $420 and Pro Max sits at $530. If we completely disregard the prices, these iPhones are great. Their OLED displays are much better than the one on an iPhone 11, with better color accuracy, deeper blacks, and higher pixel density. Internally, they have the same A13 processor with 4 gigs of RAM. This combo is great for everyday use and gaming. All modern titles are working flawlessly on these devices. The cameras are also great. 11 Pro was the first ever iPhone with a triple camera system, packing the wide, ultra-wide, and 2x zoom lens. All cameras perform great in almost every environment. Smart HDR knows what it's doing and does its best at making each photo spectacular. There are only 2 issues I've noticed. Night mode is available only on the main camera, and the faces are sometimes weirdly lit. Maybe that's an occasional problem, but my friends who own 11 Pro do state this issue. Luckily, the videos are fine. 4K is as sharp as ever, with great stabilization, dynamic range, and color accuracy. When it comes to battery, the 11 Pro is good, but the Pro Max is better. 11 Pro Max is a very capable phone when it comes to battery life. According to many tests online, it performs nearly as good as the 13 Pro Max, which is a beast. Both phones will get you through the day with no problem. Overall, very solid phones, even in 2023. Things get really interesting when it comes to the iPhone 12 and 12 mini. Let's deal with the 12 mini first. This iPhone was Apple's comeback into the world of small iPhones. 5.4-inch screen seems minuscule today, and it really is. This phone is tiny, but despite the small size, it packs the same internals as does its big brother, the iPhone 12. A14 and 4 gigs of RAM is a very powerful combo. The camera system is also the same, 12 megapixel wide and 12 megapixel ultra wide, but now with night mode on all cameras. 5G, small bezels, new design, it looks great on paper, but the real problem is its battery life. The iPhone 12 mini simply dies after noon. Its small size can't physically accommodate the big battery, so should you pick this phone up for $480? No, definitely not. The mini iPhone is a failure, at least the 12 mini. Better look at a regular iPhone 12, bright 6.1-inch display paired with powerful internals and great cameras. Amazon sells refurbished ones for around $500 and Apple sells them new for $600. I think the iPhone 12 is a perfect phone for anyone who wants a new design, new features, but without paying too much. The cameras are great, the battery life is enough for anyone, and it's just a very nice phone overall. Definitely worth picking up. I can't say the same for the 12 Pro and Pro Max, however. Not because the phones are bad, but because the prices are through the roof. Amazon is asking $770 for the baseline 12 Pro and around $880 for the Pro Max. At that price point, all the benefits simply fade away. But let's say you can get them cheaper, then what? Okay, if we abstract from the price, we'll get 2 fantastic phones. The 12 Pro, in my opinion, is the best of these 2. Comfortable size, great cameras, battery life, perfect from every angle. Triple camera setup is massively better than on 11 Pro, but roughly the same as on the regular iPhone 12. All 3 cameras are 12 megapixel and produce very decent shots. Sharp, beautifully colored, with high dynamic range and great level of detail in any environment, even at night. Is it still relevant to talk about video recording at this point? 4K in all its glory, crisp, detailed, realistically lit and colored. The performance is also very, very good. A14 plus 6 gigs of RAM is a serious powerhouse. Gaming, scrolling, social media interface, not a single issue. The phone just flies through anything you throw at it. And all that with fantastic battery life. The 12 Pro Max is almost the same but slightly bigger, with bigger battery and different zoom camera, 2.5x instead of a 2x. Overall, 2 great phones, but we simply can't ignore the prices. It's too much. For roughly the same amount, you can get the 13 Pro or even the new 14 Pro, so why bother with 12 Pro? The iPhone 13 and 13 mini follow the same pattern as the 12 and 12 mini. Big phone and a tiny phone, identical in every way except size and battery. I will assume that I'm describing the same phone for the time being. Before I get into details, I'll just say what I think. The iPhone 13 is the best phone you can buy right now. It's the best bang for the buck, the best combo of specs and affordability. Despite being very similar to the 12 lineup, these phones are better in every way. The screens are brighter, 800 nits instead of 625. The processor is more powerful and efficient, the cameras are better, stabilization is improved, the dynamic range is better, the new algorithms produce better shots, low-light photos are better and require less time to make. The videos are also better. The A15 is more powerful, performs better in gaming, and all that at the same price as the iPhone 12. The 13 mini is sold by Apple at the same price as the iPhone 12, and the regular 13 is only $100 more, right at $700. Pretty good deal, right? Not without issues, but great phone. Issues? What issues? Throttling, for example. Somehow the A15 throttles more than the A14 in games. The screen dims a few minutes earlier and stays dim longer. That's basically the only drawback from the iPhone 12. Plus, it is 99% similar to the iPhone 14, so no one would know you're rocking the last year's phone. But what about the 13 Pro? Now, we're really stepping into bad deal territory. The iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max are very good phones, but I wouldn't spend money on them. The principle is the same to the 12th Gen Pro models. Too expensive. Amazon currently sells them at $870 for the 13 Pro and $1,050 for the Pro Max, and those phones will be renewed, not new. Do you really want that? Yes, the phones are great, but if you start doing math, you'll see that only $100 keeps you away from the all-new, shiny 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. Hardware-wise, the 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max are very powerful and capable, almost as good as the 14 Pro, but the prices just ruin everything. Cameras are great, but 14 Pro has better ones. Video recording and stabilization is fantastic, but 14 Pro does it better. The screen is fluid and responsive with its 120 Hz, but 14 Pro is again better. Add to it the dynamic island, the crash detection, the satellite connectivity, the better front-facing camera, the always-on display. That's worth a lot more than $100. My advice, don't bother with 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max. Buy them only if you can get them used at a really low price in great condition. If you can't do that, the 14 Pro lineup is the obvious choice. Okay, now to the new releases, the iPhone 14, the base one. Well, at $100 more than the iPhone 13, you're getting almost nothing. Better video stabilization, overprocessed photos, satellite connectivity, and crash detection, and that's all. The design is the same, the notch is the same, everything is the same for $800. The 14 Plus is the same phone, but bigger, with better battery. That's all. Choose 14 Plus only if you like the notch and want a bigger screen with better battery life. But for $800 to $850, you can pick up the 13 Pro Max if you're especially lucky, and that will be hella better phone. Basic 14 and 14 Plus, skip them. A very bad deal. But the 14 Pro is a completely different story. So many features at the same $1,000 price. The dynamic island, the always-on display, the improved performance, 48 megapixel main camera, action mode video stabilization, improved cinematic mode, the list goes on and on. That's a lot of a phone for $1,000. We've already made a full review of this phone, so check it out right here or down here. A fantastic phone, flawed but fantastic. We've discussed its features, gimmicks, problems, and flaws. The 14 Pro Max is the same but bigger. Better battery life, larger screen, all that. 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max are the only iPhones released in 2022 that actually deserve your attention. That's my opinion. Period. So the list of relevant iPhones is massive. 11, 11 Pro and Pro Max, 12 and 12 mini, 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, 13 and 13 mini, 13 Pro and Pro Max, 14 and 14 Plus, 14 Pro and Pro Max. Each iPhone is great in its own way and each one deserves your attention. If you have any of the iPhones I've mentioned, write your short reviews in the comments down below. May purchase be pleasant, good luck, and see you next time.